everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Florence Amaribu. How are you guys doing? Hope you all are doing great. So guys, in today's video I'll be showing us how to cut a paper bag short pant. Before I go ahead, I really want to appreciate each and every one of us for your love, for supporting your girl. Thank you on short pants. So I got a lot of questions on it, so I decided to make another tutorials on it. I'll be linking a description box, on that particular video in my description box about the short and the first video. You can go ahead and check that out because I made a vivid description. I really explained it to detail how to cut that pant. So I will still be doing the same thing on this one. So before we start wasting much of our time, let's just go straight to the video. So we'll be needing chalk, our scissors, tape, definitely the fabrics. So I will go ahead and fold the fabric the way I'll be using it. I'm gonna head to cut out the size, the length and width I'll be using for the paper bag short pant. Sorry, before I go ahead, we'll be needing the waist measurement, the hip measurement, the lap measurement, that's the circumference of your lap, then the length of this short and the round mouth of the length of the short. So this is the length, this is the starting base. Let me just have a straight line for us to see that here is my waistline and also my starting line where I'll be taking all my measurement. So now guys, as I said earlier, we need waist, hip, lap and length of the skirt. So now I'll remember we'll be taking out the band of this of the pant. I'll be taking out 1.5. My hip measurement I will be taking 9.5 inches. Next I will be taking right now 9.5. Let me have 2 points for us not to confuse, for me not to confuse us. So this is the 9.5 for the hip measurement. I'll go ahead and connect those 2 points, those 2 lines, and make a straight line. The next I will go ahead to do now is to get the crotch depth. I'll be taking the crotch depth. Remember guys, I'm taking out 1.5 for the waistband. So the crotch depth, I got a question from one of my subscribers asking, because I said that 11.5 female pants, the crotch depth is not supposed to exceed 11 inches. So she was asking, what if the person is on the big side? Are you supposed to take 11 inches for the crotch depth? Sorry, you are not supposed to take, if the person is on the big side, consider the measurement you are working with. If the person is 2SS large, 3SSL, 11 inches is not going to work. It's not even going to fit. It's not even going to pass the person's leg. So what you need to do is consider the person's measurement. Consider the person's measurement if you are measuring, if you are taking the person's crotch depth. So the crotch depth, I'll be taking 11.5 because this is a paper bag. I don't want it to be too tight on my client's body. So I'll be taking 11.5 for the crotch depth. I will go ahead and connect these 2 points. The next is the length of the pant. Still taking out my 1.5, the length of the pant, 20 inches. 20 inches, add 2 inches, that's 2.5 inches. I will take it at 2 points, 20 inches, that's 22 inches. That's the sewing allowance and for the hemming. Go ahead, connect the points. To take the measurement for my hip, I will take my hip measurement, which is 46 inches 46 inches divided by 4 will give me 11.5 inches. When you divide 46 by 4, I'll be adding 2.5. Why? Because this is a paper bag pant, short pant. You don't want it. I'm not adding zipper, elastic short. So for that reason, I'll be adding 2.5 inches. If it were to be, I'll be adding zipper to the pant, to the short pant. I will only take 1.5. For this, I'll be adding on my hip measurement. I will add 2.5 inches. Then on the crotch depth, I'll be dividing it by 2. My lap circumference is 30 inches. When you divide 30 inches by 2, you will have 15 inches. I will add 2.5 inches, just as I added on the hip circumference. So I've gotten that, like so. I've gotten this. Now we need to impute our circumference, the round mouth for the short. Before we do so, we need to get the midpoint of this short. So for us to get the midpoint of this short pant, I will get the total length at the crotch depth. I will get the total measurement of the crotch depth, which is 17.5. We'll get the 17.5. I will divide it in 2. Let's just use the tape to divide it right here. I will divide it in 2, like so. So it gives us 8 and 8.75. So that 8.75 is right here. 8.75 is right here. Now, what the round mouth of this pant is 23. When you divide it 23, we are going to divide it by 2, 11.5. So when we have 11.5, we ensure that the 11.5 will be shared equal right here. So that means you will divide 11.5 by 2, whichever one you want to do it. 11.5. I will have 5.25 on this side. I will have 5.25 on this side, which means it is shared equally. When you add everything, you see that it's 11.5. For us to get the waist measurement, that's to get this waist measurement right here, I will take the measurement of this hip. I will transfer it. I want whatever I have at the hip measurement, I want to have it at the waist measurement. What I have here is 14.25. I will transfer that 14.25 right here, just to have a rectangle, right? That just connect the line in a box. You can see it's kind of a rectangle right here. It's kind of rectangle right here. Guys, the next thing I will be doing, I'll be taking my measurement. If you remember, guys, we were taking the measurement right from this side. From right here, we were moving this way. But for the waist measurement, I'll be taking my measurement at this line. I'll be coming in this way. My waist measurement is 38 inches. When you divide 38 inches divided by 4, we have 9.5. Not adding zipper. So I will add 2.5 inches because it is an elastic band. I will add 2.5 inches. We've gotten it right here. Now the next thing we need to do is to connect this hip, the hip measurement and the waist that we've gotten right here. I will connect it to this point and to those points. Now let's connect all the points. We'll just connect I'm connecting that right there. At this point, to get the curve, I will take 1 inch because we don't want it to be too deep. 1 inch there at this corner right here, so as to know how the curve, like so. The next I will do I will connect this point. I've connected that point. Now we have our hip is right here. Now we'll connect this to this point. Now at the waist, at this point right here, guys, at this point I'll be going down by, you can take ½ inch or 1 inch. I will just go down by 1 inch. I will connect it to the end on the waist right there, just like so. I am not going to cut it out right now, guys. I will leave it. When I'm cutting, I will leave this point. I will cut every other side. When I'm cutting the back, I will cut it. So this is for the back. What I did is just to place it on top like so. Everything will be the same except at the crotch depth. I will add 1.5 inches. I will add 1.5 inches. Here be 1 inch at the bottom right here. 1 inch. I will just connect it, extend this line. Here I added 1.5. I will just continue like so. So guys, let me cut out this line right here. Mostly we don't want, why I will be adding this 1 inch I cut out here. I will add it to the back, so I'll be adding 1 inch to the back. You don't want a situation you wear your pant and the back of your pant or short and whatever your undies will be showing. That's why we are going to pull this up a little bit and we'll connect it to this point. One more thing, right? This is what I usually do if I'm cutting female pants. Mostly if I'm cutting female pants, normally I don't cut at that end because you don't want a gap. You know, our back at our spinal cord is kind of, there's this kind of groove. There's a case deep a little bit. So I will be creating that. I don't know if I'm making sense, but this is what I usually do if I'm cutting my pant. I raise this a little bit. I go in. You can leave it if you want. You can just cut it out like so. It's okay. But this is what I normally do to my pant. I go in by ½ inch or sometimes 0.75. You know. So when I'm tracing out this curve right here, I will trace it out like so. I will trace it out like so. At this side, I will replace it here, especially for female, because of our butt. You will see that space. This is what I do to just kind of let the pant lap on the skin. If you don't want it, you can cut it out like so, whichever way you want it. So I will be transferring that back to this place, and I'll be adding 1.5 because I want to add that to the back part. I'm not adding that to this. I'm only adding that to the back part. So we have it like so. We are done with this. That is it, guys. That's the front and the back. We'll go ahead and join it. I'll go ahead and attach the pocket first. Right here, this is the front panel. That's the front panel right there. So I will be taking I will go down by 1 inch. This 1 inch is to enable us to attach the waistband. So I will take 7 inches right here, notch it here. This portion right here is where I will attach my pocket. So the pocket will be going in like so. So this is how the pocket. I will go ahead, attach this pocket to the front panel. This is the other side of the front panel. So what I will do next is I will go ahead and attach the back panel to the front panel. Attach each of the legs, the front panels. I've attached it. There's pocket. I've attached both of them. So the next thing I will go ahead to do right now, I will hold both like this, bring it together, and I will go ahead and take the measurement before. That's the waist is 38 inches right here, plus the 2.5 inches, which is right here. That means we have just ½ inch to stay. I just wanted to let us know that we are just stitching just ½ inch on both sides. I'm gonna have to attach the both attach it together. You can see the way it's looking. I measured the waist round. I measured it round. I used it to cut out the band. This band is like so because I'll be folding it like this. So by the time I attach the elastic band, I know we took 1.5. That 1.5 is here. So this excess right here on top will be the one that will give us that squeeze. We are looking for that squeeze excess at the top of the paper bag. If you watch most paper bags, you will see that there is always excess at the top. So depending on how you want the excess to be, so I want mine to be a lot. That's why I added another 2 inches. Aside from the 1.5 for the band, I added extra 2 inches, depending on how wide you want it. If you don't want it that wide, you can just leave it at 1 inch. So everything will be like 2.5 inches, including the waistband. So I've gone ahead, measure everything, which is 38.5 plus that 2.5 inches. This is enough for me. So I will go ahead, guys. The next thing I will do, if you watch, I didn't cut out this band separate. Everything I cut it together is not separate, so I didn't cut it, so that by the time we fold it like this, we will not have any joining at the top right here. So that's why I cut it out together. I will go ahead, using my gum stay, stay, whichever stay you want to use. Remember, guys, we have our ½ inch. We're giving out ½ inch here. Just let me measure. This is 1.5. I will measure it out. Go ahead and make stitching allowance where I will attach this down part with the short. In between these lines, I will attach my elastic band. Look at the way it's looking right now. I have closed both of them together. You see it's the way it's looking. This is the front. I said that we have the belt. So right now I'll go ahead and attach it to the pant. That's the back. So I will just attach it like so. I will attach it like so, round. So guys, this is the way the paper bag pant is looking. As you can see, guys, it's nice. That is, I've gone ahead to hem the end of the round mouth of the short pant. Here is the belt.